Hello. It is Saturday, March 6th, 2021, and this is the Yormish Full Body Workout. Cycle 6, Chapter 1, or Part 1, Iteration 6. And I'm going to try to listen to music while I get this done. Alright, got my music kind of set up. Alright, public service announcement. Please do not waste your time watching this video unless you have a very specific reason to watch this video. Alright, I'm going to stretch out a little bit beforehand. And then I'm going to happily be quiet. was all that was written for that workout, I think. I'm gonna take a quick look at it. All right. Actually, let's look at it together. All right, let's see if I did the sequence right. All right. This is a nice blank sheet. So it was pull-ups, then incline bench, then squats, leg extensions, leg contractions. Then it was chest machine and flies. Then it was pull downs and reverse flies. Then dips and rocket chair. Then curls, skeleton, skull crushers, chin ups. Then it was rollers and planks. Then it was calf raises. Then heel down, toes up, double base. Then it was grips and 3 full leg and knee ups. Then it was military press and push-ups. Then it was push downs using the back, push downs using triceps, bent back, left then right, or right then left. Then it was lateral raises, then frontal raises. As a buddy of mine said, 9 evolutions, 13 cycles, 81 sets, 27 exercises. So hopefully that was it. Now you and I can, whoa, record time. Right now it's 41 minutes, so this might have been 40 minutes. I've been cutting down some of the transition times. The dips and the rocket chair, I didn't do a transition. I just did all 3 sets. So yeah, it might have looked like 1 set of 3, but on the dips it was actually 3 sets of 1 because there was a little pause in between it. Anyhow, cool. Shut this down. We'll go on the same adventure tomorrow, maybe. Hopefully. Then it'll be Adventure Week, using the word adventure a lot lately. Oh, goodness. Well, if anybody watched this besides me, and hey, even if future me watched this, thank you for being future me. Hopefully you've made many good decisions and many happy times. Much happiness to reflect upon. Anyhow. Oh, there's some simple goodness out there. One thing that kind of makes me happy is I might start like an Instagram thing, because everybody says, "God, you have an Instagram?" You know, no, I see no point to it, but now I'm starting to see the point. Just the only point being is when somebody asks me if I have an Instagram, I can just, hey, yeah, I do. And what's going to be on that Instagram? The other point is it's going to be pictures of sidewalks and concrete with all these cool patterns in it. And I think those patterns are caused when they're laying down the concrete and it rains. And there's like these, it almost looks like one of those tribal tattoos. Nothing like Celtic knots or anything, nothing that cool, but somewhere in between those. So it's kind of an interesting thing I like. Anyway, I'm considering this a stretch. Stretch and talk. Stretch and talk. Let's see if I can just keep my knees straight while I stretch and talk. Stretch and talk. Knees are slightly bent. Straighten them up a little bit. That is it fully straight. Every time I go down further, there's temptation to bend the knees. Like I already felt them bending a little bit. It may not be visible, but so if I touch my toes, a lot more pain if the knees are straight. So it's like ease off on the pain a little bit with the bend right there. And an interesting feeling that the back of my knees does not like. Maybe the muscle actually what people call the hamstrings. Gonna do a little bit of that bend thing that was suggested to me by a friend, and also I think he got it off of something Wim Hof might have done, or maybe who knows where it came from. I think it's pretty good. what I'm going to do is bend down like this. This is about the extent of my stretching right now, without trying to be courageous or heroic about it. So right about there, I'm starting to feel it. It's not like it's kind of locked. I mean, I really start bending the knee. Same principle applies. So what I'm going to do is hold my breath, then extend myself while I'm breathing out, and it'll be nice, so it's almost like a rubber band, maybe something like that. So here's about the extent. Yeah, that felt all right. All right, there's something there. Let's go ahead and flip that around. Okay. Wasn't too toasty around here, but I am sweating. Try the same thing. Get myself into a position for that. I think it works a little bit. At least within maybe a placebo effect, something maybe a little bit psychosomatic, something maybe a little bit subjective reality. But I am forcing myself, force may not be the best word. I am trying to get myself to believe that this working out thing is fun. And it actually kind of is. Got a new video game that's really cool. I have high hopes for it. It's called When True, Learn. And it has these little nodes. And it's like getting the values, getting items from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. And the right categories. So let's say you have something over here that's blue triangles and green squares, and it uses circle, squares, triangles, different colors. So far I've seen 4 colors and 3 different shapes, but it also uses some other stuff. Like in one exercise there was something, but it was almost automatic. It was roadway ahead, object in roadway. That was for a scenario that had to do with self-driving cars. But it seems like a pretty good game so far. Hopefully I'll learn something really cool about it. And my secret hope, which I guess it's no longer a secret if I say it out loud, is maybe apply that bit of knowledge towards some end into maybe programming something kind of cool. Maybe an application that does something kind of useful for a lot of people that are out there. And I think if I do something like that, and watch me eat my words as soon as I utter them, but what I'd like to do is put it out there and just say, if you like this application, please say thank you in a way that matters, aka donate $1 or 99 cents to the maker of the application. And then I might have some funny story associated with it. And then I'm thinking if the person uses the app every 100 times, it'll be a tally of how many times they open the application. It seems like you've opened this application 100 times. I hope you're getting wonderful use out of it. If you want, if it's worth it to you, if it's within your means, I would much appreciate a thank you. That matters. Care of the developer. And, because I kind of hate it when you open up an application once And the first time opening up, it's rate this application. And it's an interesting rating system. I think they have it set up. I'm not sure about this, but I think they have their own internal rating system. And then, like, let's say you're using Apple products and you're having the App Store. That's a secondary rating system. Primary rating system is towards their own application. So if you say 1 star, it doesn't push you to the secondary rating system. If you say 5 star, it'll push you to the secondary rating system, and you go right through there. Or maybe it continues that 5 star all the way there without asking anything of the user, which seems kind of shady in my opinion. So it boosts their 5 star rating. I've seen one where I've just rated it 1 star, and it was like, please let us know why, which was actually pretty good. I hope that the application was equally as honest on the other side of the rating system, where if you rated it 5 stars, it's like, hey, please tell us why. And if you'd like, feel free to go to the App Store and rate this 5 stars there as well. A little encouragement, but not laying down a trail of, is it an easy trail of breadcrumbs? How easy do you want to make it the pathway to the user to put their, I think they should put at least some effort into it, and definitely have a conditional, hey, if you want to let other users know about this, a 5 star rating would be great. And I think that's a gentle, good encouragement. And then maybe, just maybe, having a link to the App Store and the rating area on that situation. Because it seems like a lot of applications are just doing shady stuff to, I for one have 0 applications that have any sort of subscription fee associated with it. Because there was really one good application I liked a lot. I think it was called Auxy, AUXY. It was a little music application, and I think there was like 2 versions of it. And they went subscription based, and I can understand why. They were testing it out, seeing how many users, all that, giving a whole bunch of user stuff for free, then taking it away and making it subscription based. I don't know if that was the exact scenario, but that's what it seems like. I didn't investigate it too far. As soon as I saw subscription, I was like, I'm out of here. There are better applications that are not subscription based. And then there's the absurd notion of lifetime subscription base, which is an excuse for companies to charge someone $200 for an application, which in my mind is silly. I understand the way to make money is, getting your subscription base up, and a lot of people forget about it, and even when they forget about it and not use it, you're still making money, which for some people seems like an ideal scenario. It seems like a less than honest scenario if you ask me, but that's just me. I think there are better practices available, but then again, I think long term we'll figure out ways of just pressing a button and having all of our needs met like that. I think that's kind of the meandering way technology's going. All of your needs met by the press of a button. And then I think the world will have a lot less crime, especially if you increase individual freedoms. I'm one I won't say never, but so far in my life, I'm not, I don't drink, don't smoke, don't use drugs. And all that's recreational. Don't use any of that stuff for recreational. I can't imagine using smoking for health benefits or anything like that, but I'm sure when the doctor before has told me, hey, take these antibiotics to, because you had surgery or whatever, like, okay, that is still taking drugs, but it's not recreational. But so I have taken drugs in my life, not recreationally. But no, I haven't done any weird painkillers or anything like that, so it's not building up an excuse for anything like that, thank goodness. Yeah. I wouldn't trust myself around that stuff, but I remember one time I had some tooth thing that was like, I got a temporary crown put on, and underneath it, it just hurt every day for the 2 weeks waiting for the permanent crown to come up. And then I was like hoping that like talked to the doctor about. I was like, when this permanent crown comes on, like I've had this instant ache for the last 2 weeks, and what I was doing, back to painkillers, is I was popping the little orange ones. I don't know if they're, it's not like Motrin or something. I can't remember what it was, but it's not Tylenol. I can't remember what it was. I remember it was a long time ago. My mom handed me this stuff. She showed me the bottle. I remember reading the bottle. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. Over-the-counter type stuff. And it was take 2 every 6 hours, or as needed. And it was maybe almost like a thing in my head, like a little timer in my head. It seemed like 6 hours would go by, my tooth would start hurting, and I'm like, okay. And fortunately enough, the dentist knew what they were talking about. And from more than one source, they said, yeah, once you get the permanent crown on, it'll hurt for a couple days, but all this stuff will go away. If it doesn't go away in a week, give me a call, we'll figure something out. Didn't have to figure out anything. It seemed like, I wish I could remember. I'm almost tempted to say 3 days, but it could have been hours. I don't really remember, but I was very thankful that I didn't need to have a little baggie with those pills in it. I had a little baggie for going to work and all that kind of stuff, and it was just like I'd take it out of the bottle, I have the exact number I needed. Not that I was tempted to take more or anything like that. I just wanted one in my backpack that I could keep with me in my car and at work, or wherever I was going. And then at home, I also wanted it. I don't know why. I could have just brought the bottle everywhere, but whatever. I do know why. I think there was times where I was doing something and I'd be able to have the baggie in my pocket, and I didn't want a big bottle of pills in my pocket. So there was that. Oh, it's good talking with you. It's good testing out ideas and things to talk about. If somebody asks me what's going on, hey, Yorm, what's going on? And I'll be like, I'm thinking about creating an Instagram. Or I was thinking about applications that have subscription bases, and how a lot of people think that's the way of the future, and I am kind of saddened by that. But at the same time, I think of technology overall as eventually, with all these gadgets keep making our life better, eventually we'll have all of our needs, maybe even all of our wants, taken care of at the push of a button. So I think we're far away from that, but I do think it's coming in a lot of ways. So here's something funny. I had a cloth, and this probably speaks to the nature of who I am. I take my watch off every day, this watch anyway. And I like this watch. Matter of fact, I should tell it that this is the end of my workout. And, whoops. All right, come on now. There we go, end of workout. All right. Anyhow, do both legs. That nice little stretch right there. Oh, all right. So, anyway, I've switched watch bands because this is probably disgusting. And I had a whole bunch of hair ties around this one. I was using the hair ties, like if I had a screw or something, I'd whirl the screw around and have it like there, and it'd just be like, I'd do my stuff, pull the screw out, and be like, yeah. So I didn't have to like wear something with pockets, or I usually try to wear something with pockets, but when you're doing something, it's hard to get, in the pockets and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, it seemed easier for some reasons. This probably exacerbated the problem, the hair ties. The problem was it smelled. And I noticed it last night. I've noticed it sometimes, like something smells weird in my bed. My hand would be right here, and then like I'd take my watch off and not notice it, charge up the watch. Anyhow, I smelled it really bad last night. And so I was like, I figured it out, and I took the hair ties off, and it wasn't just the hair ties. They smelled a bit, but the watch band, it was like this cloth stretchy thing. Really cool watch band in some ways, except it stank. So what I did is I put it in I put some rubbing alcohol all over it, tied it up in a plastic bag, and just like, made it so it's, I didn't submerge the whole thing. There's metal parts and stuff like that, but I got it moist and put it in an environment without air. So any bacteria or any stinkiness that's inside of it, that's growing, that's whatever, see ya. So I am happy about this one. Doesn't smell. It's some sort of synthetic rubberized plastic type thing, and it's okay. Don't like the color of it. Did investigate black ones online. One good one seemed about $18. Oh no, not $18. $8. Another one that I wasn't sure about seemed about $5. I don't know. I don't know if I can justify that. Just it's not really. I don't know if it's vanity or whatever, but I'll see if I can get used to this. I mean, I'm not wearing like black rubber bands. It's not like a value thing. So it's like, the rubber bands are pretty useful, and this watch band seems pretty useful for the time being. It's easy to take off and on. So, and also it's more secure than the other watch band. I actually have to press 2 buttons on this thing to take the watch bands out. I have another watch going off. Oh, I'm gonna try the breathing thing one more time with this. A little bit more. There we go. So it was good talking with you. I have a friend that gives me phone calls every now and then, and he asks usually the same question 3 times in a row. So, hey, what's going on over there? Not a whole bunch. Oh, wow. So, hey, what's going on over there? Well, I mean, I wasn't going to tell you this, but there's a zombie apocalypse going on right now. And I probably shouldn't do that unless I can make it funny. And I'm guilty of the same thing. I'll ask people basically, hey, how's it going, in a couple different thoughtful ways. Hopefully I change the method I use to ask that question. So yeah, changing my method. It's like one of my favorite ways of asking somebody how they're doing is in a way that I think elicits a little thought. And that is on a 1 through 13 scale, 1 being the worst time of your life ever, 13 being the best time in your life that you can even imagine. How are you doing in 3 different aspects? Mind, body, and soul. And most people get that question. If they don't, it's my fault for not engaging my audience and thinking about putting it in a way that is easily understood. So there's that. I got a weird text from today from someone I used to know, and I don't really want my life, not in a mean way, it's just I don't think I could help that person out in any sort of way, and I'd probably just do more harm than good, because she's like, people think I'm crazy, and then she says a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Maybe it's not crazy stuff. Maybe I'm just horrible at interpreting things. But I don't know. Some things you kind of have to give up on. A friend of mine, she actually reminds me of something I looked up for a buddy of mine. A buddy of mine says, I'd really appreciate it if you looked up this guy, Chris Chan. And I got a few minutes into that, and I don't want to know the whole story. I realize that I just off the top of the bat, I don't think this will help my life in any way, knowing, I could be wrong, investigating that person. I got a thumbnail sketch of it, but beyond that, I don't know if I'm qualified to have an opinion, because I've only glanced over the subject that is this human being. But frustrated young man, frustrated middle-aged man, frustrated man, whatever. Don't know his age or anything like that, but hey, I can understand the frustration. I could see where he's coming from on that, and that kind of all sorts of different frustrations affect people in different ways, and people crack in different ways, and maybe that's what's going on. I'm sure it doesn't help that as a human being he's isolated to a certain extent, and there is a group of people that for their own benefit, whatever their benefit is, want to re-educate them, cut them down, feed their own egos. I'm not sure exactly the methodology, maybe a combination of all three, and a whole bunch more that I'm not even thinking of right now. And it's an interesting situation where you can look at somebody and you can look at it very easily through the eyes of looking at a person as a victim and also looking at that person as a villain in some ways. And I'm just not going to go that path. I really don't need to. Passing along that judgment doesn't help me in any way I can think of right now. And I don't think it helps that person. I don't think it really helps anybody else. And it might help my friend to kind of get a laugh. But then again, my friend has a different sense of humor than I do in certain things. Like he said, it would be hilarious if I joined an anti-pot smokers group and that he was heavily involved in. And so I was like, okay, he says it's funny. I like most of his sense of humor. Okay, cool, I joined. And it was a lot of people just bashing on people. And I just kind of left it at that. Like a gentle roast, hey, that's cool. Hey, I've been guilty of it. I try not to be too guilty of it, but I've been guilty of ripping on somebody in the wrong way, telling them words they don't want to hear, and not thinking before I use words that really hurt somebody. But and my excuse at the time was, hey, they're just words. But yeah, I think they do add up, and it also depends upon that person's reserve. Maybe they don't have maybe they've just been picked away and have nothing left, and even that weakened state, even words tear at them, So I'm not sure, and I'm not finding any real concrete ideas here. I'm actually getting myself more lost in my ideations and unknowing and edge of my knowledge type situation than anything else, but I'm tempted to go to sum it all up. And hey, I'll give that a shot. Let's see what happens. To sum it all up, the whole my friend with the pot thing, I realized his sense of humor is a bit different. He smokes pot, and he thought it was funny to pretend to rip on people who smoke pot in this anti-pot, situation, and gather up with people, and then, it was almost like the Colbert Report a little bit, like that level of satire to it back in the day. But not as sophisticated and not as well written. Of course, he just had a whole bunch of people not gathering together and not having a clear, complete, I guess, cogent message put together, so it wasn't organized. Maybe it would have been better or funnier if it was, but I just felt it just didn't appeal to me. And I'm glad it appealed to other people. I don't think it was doing too much harm in the world. I think the world should exist with stuff like that. But it's also nice to know, like, hey, not my type of fun. Christmas music, cards. Never ever have I been like, oh man, I could really go for a game of cards. Nope. I'll play with people, especially if they re-educate me on the rules of whatever card game, but never really got an excited feeling, oh my goodness, I've never been jonesing for Christmas music, ever. I can appreciate it. If it's around, I'll listen to it. Doesn't hurt me, but never have I said, oh man, I gotta listen to Silent Night, man. Whew, I need that. No, never had a hunger for that. So, yeah. But anyway, I think same guy, the whole Chris Chan thing from the same dude, I think is that type of humor towards that. And he has a lot better other projects and a lot funnier other stuff that is funny in the same way as I have. But I think it's cool that the spectrum's there. Like, example, my spectrum of funny stuff is, there's gross stuff, fart jokes and all that kind of stuff. And my dad just thinks that's immature. But I still think that's mature. But sometimes there's a Venn diagram, a very small area, where what I think is funny and what my dad thinks is funny overlaps a little bit. And generally that seems to be dry British humor. But all right, speaking of that, I should probably go to my dad's house and see if he's still up for watching some dry British humor. What an amazing life I lead. It was good having this conversation with you. And I'm not complaining about my buddy that's asked me to investigate. I think I did, a little bit of an investigation, and I realized that is just not for me, not to get involved with that. There's so many other things I could be doing that are so much more enjoyable and maybe even intellectually rewarding that don't deal with that situation at all. And even if I got heavily involved in it, it's like getting really good at gambling. If you become an expert gambler, one of the best in the world, they can still kick you out of the casino. So it's like you became an expert gambler for, in essence, nothing. So yeah, I kind of look at it that way. Becoming an expert on this guy yields me nothing. Probably. I mean, maybe if I'm super creative, I could become an expert and, in a fantasy way, do something that betters his life and the life of all the people trolling that person, and just a wonderful redemption story of some sort that gets at least 80% of the people, the stakeholders involved in that situation, a better existence. Maybe. But no. I got other things to do that seem to be far more linear. Like working out like this. This seems to be a good idea. Although if I was to criticize it, it would be I don't do enough. And that's, in some ways, I accept that. And I'm bizarrely okay with that. This life is here for something beyond breaking oneself. All right. Later it shall be.